Chibok girls' proof of life video goes viral 2 years after 219 of them were abducted by Boko Haram, sparking outrage by governments and international human rights organizations. Our correspondent Blessing Tuna in the heart of the insurgency and indeed the center of the abduction story when it all broke. She joins us shortly from Maiduguri, the city center of troubled Borno State. We're going to be talking to her live in just a moment. The president says that his government will do everything possible to rescue the girls, while their parents believe stronger today more than ever before that their daughters will come back home alive. Data feeds still coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms. We'll focus on the biggest stories. You can also be part of the program. Use the hashtag State of the Nation and tweet at _Gimba Umar and share your thoughts on the subject. Shehu Abubakar, a member of the Bring Back Our Girls group, joins me from our Abuja studios. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us on State of the Nation at this time. Tell me what your thoughts are about this CNN video. It has created so much renewed hopes of finding the Chibok girls. What is your first impression?
It was reassuring to see this video, which proves that the girls are still alive and can be rescued. And the theme of our Global Week of Action is Hope Endures. So this video further reinforces that line that indeed these girls are alive and can be rescued with the right action. Interesting.
Does it bother you though that not one single parent has come out to identify the girls in this video released by Nigerian negotiators, by two Nigerian negotiators by the CNN news leader in the US? Does this bother you?
Well, my understanding is some of the parents identified some of the girls shown on that video, and that is no doubt that these girls were taken from Chibok. I think that is not in dispute. I have seen video clips where the parents were shown this video, and some saw their children, and some saw the children of their neighbors and friends.
Interesting. What does this new video mean for your group, the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls group? What does it mean to you?
Ours has always been advocacy for the release of these Chibok girls. And we have, from the beginning, been calling for the right action from our government, as well as our international partners, to do the needful to bring these girls out. What this video does to us is further strengthen our hopes and beliefs that no matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, that these girls will come back and be united with their families so that they can continue with their lives.
Now, you saw the actions when you had that march in Abuja, and that march was stopped. I believe that march was to the presidential villa. It was stopped by the police. What do you make of the actions of the police in that situation?
What is important here is to understand that there is nothing confrontational about this advocacy. We are partners in progress. We understand that in a democracy there is a demand and supply side. And it is when these two sides work together, then the ultimate goal will be achieved. The march yesterday was not about the Bring Back Our Girls. It was about, movement. It was about the Chibok girls and their rescue. So I want to de-emphasize the fact that police stopped us or we were prevented from getting entry into the villa. But I would like to focus more on the issue on the table, which is about these girls and other victims of insurgency. And that is our primary objective, and that is what we are focused on. We keep our eyes on the ball, not on the side attractions.
Sure, let me just put you on hold for a minute or two and put our next guest, Blessing Tuna, our correspondent in that will be our correspondent in Maiduguri. She joins me now also. Blessing, give us a sense of the mood of the people that we expected are in Chibok right now. Give us a sense of the mood of the people. How are they responding to this new video?
Girls, only their faces.
It seems we have lost that very connection with Blessing Tuna, but we'll try to get it as quickly as we can and have a discussion just so she can give us an on-the-spot assessment of how the people feel in Chibok. Of course, 2 years down the line, 215 girls were abducted by Boko Haram and they're still being looked for. A video has been released by the CNN and there has been mixed reactions as to where this is going to take us next. Let's go back to Abuja studio where Shehu Abubakar is still with us. Shehu, do you believe Mr. President's comments when he says that his administration will not stop at anything to get the girls back?
I have no reason to doubt the President's statement. If anything, we are totally behind our Commander-in-Chief, and we appreciate and applaud the efforts of our military in the war front for all their sacrifices and achievements so far. We recognize that a lot has been achieved. Thousands of Nigerians have been released, but what we simply saying is no Nigerian should be left behind, that this country should rise up as a nation and rescue everybody that was abducted by this mindless terrorists. So we are totally behind our president and that we want him to succeed.
Now, you also know that the parents are an integral part of this whole process. What level of comfort would you say has been given to the parents themselves?
I cannot begin to imagine the horror and the trauma these parents go through every day, and I think their anguish and trauma can be handled better by the government and by the society. They need and deserve all the love they can get from their government as well as their fellow citizens. So in that area, I think a lot more needs to be done to cater for their welfare as well as the welfare of all those victims of this insurgency.
Okay, just give me a moment or two. You're still with us on the show. Let me talk to Blessing. Let's bring her in from Maiduguri, our correspondent in Maiduguri. Blessing, give us a sense, tell us more about the mood of the people in Chibok today. Only just yesterday, Solidarity March were held in Borno as well, where you are, as well as here in Lagos. What is the feeling of the people 2 years down this rather sad abduction of 215 girls from Chibok?
Thank you, Gimba. Yesterday we were in Chibok. The parents organized a ceremony just like they did last year to commemorate 2 years of the abduction of their daughters. We were there last year, and the parents, the mood last year was that of empathy. But then yesterday we saw a difference in the parents. I can say are more emotionally desperate than they've ever been to have their daughters rescued and reunited with them. They cried, there was wailing, there were tears, and they really made their feelings known, because yesterday's event was quite elaborate. A lot of government officials were there, even a federal government delegation was there, and it was an opportunity for the parents to express their disappointment and their desperation to have their daughters rescued.
Now, you have interacted with the people over this 2-year period of abduction. What have they told you about the actions of the government, especially the new government, in bringing these girls back?
Before now, the parents, I think they've always had a feeling that the government has never really taken the issue of the rescue of their girls quite serious. And I think they had great expectations with the coming in of the new government. And one of the issues they raised yesterday is that the silence of the new the President Muhammad Buhari's government over the reports of the Presidential Fact-Finding Committee set up by the former president to establish facts surrounding their daughter's abduction. They are demanding that the government makes it public because they believe there are people who have questions to answer. So they really have a problem with that. And yesterday they made their feelings known. They feel that the federal government should do more than they are doing right now.
Interesting. Is Borno State safer, or looking at the bigger picture now, the Northeast, are girls safer returning to school? If you could hear me, Blessing, I was just asking you, do you get a sense that girls are safer returning to school today in the Northeast, to be precise in Borno State?
Well, particularly in Maiduguri, most of the public schools have already been opened, and both boys and girls, all the children, are back to school, except for areas where people are yet to return. Okay, like in Chibok, for instance, since the abduction of the girls, all the schools there have been shut down, and about 5,000 children are out of school. One of the parents I interacted with yesterday, I asked him if he has other children at home, and he says he does, but even if the schools are open, unless those girls are rescued and returned, he doesn't feel that the schools are safe enough for him to enroll any more of his children. But then here in Maiduguri, it's quite safe, and all the children are back to school.
Interesting. Blessing, let me just keep you on hold for a second or two as well and get back to Abuja studio, where Shehu Abubakar of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign organization, it's a group actually, is still with us. Abubakar, what do you make of a postulated theory that this whole abduction could possibly be a script? I pass people on the road all the time. They'll have to stop me to ask me this question, and I promise that I will be compelled to ask you the same question. Do you feel that this is a script?
I don't. I think this narrative has been put to rest long ago. It was President Goodluck Jonathan that set up a presidential committee, pathfinding committee, to investigate the issue of this abduction. They were on ground in Chibok, led by General Sabo. There is a presidential report submitted to that government, and in that report it was confirmed that 219 girls are still missing from Chibok. So I do not subscribe to that, and you are not alone. We have faced a lot of similar people that still believe these girls were not taken, but we can't help in stopping them from believing what they want to believe. But the issue on ground is these girls were taken, and the government has confirmed that, and we understand. They said their efforts to get these girls. If these girls were not taken, then why were they putting efforts to rescue them?
Shehu Abubakar,
parents of these girls have been all over the place. They've been here in Abuja. People have gotten to them in Chibok, and friends of these girls that were escaped, that were taken together from the school, have been in the public domain. So I don't understand why people still hold on to this narrative that these girls were not taken. It is as clear as day.
Shehu Abubakar of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group, want to thank you so much indeed for talking to us on State of the Nation, as well as our correspondent Blessing Tuna talking to us from Maiduguri. So many sides to the story still unfolding, and many may just become one of the biggest abduction story of all times. Do remember, you can send your tweets at _Gimba Umar and use the hashtag State of the Nation and share your thoughts with us. Shehu Abubakar, many thanks indeed once again. When we come back, we'll be looking at the pressing issue of Taraba State, where scores have been killed as a result of cattle rustling and herding. Join us again.